Welcome to Traders Consigliere Weekly Analysis. We look at the fundamentals and the technicals for the upcoming week so we can identify potential trades we could possibly take. So we look at the fundamentals from the previous week and then look at the current week fundamentals, then we look at the technicals. So previous week we had a lot of labor data that came out for the dollar. So we're going to go over that. We did have manufacturing PMI, purchasing managers index, coming in positive, bullish for the dollar. We have the precursor to NFP data, which was Joel's job opening. The number did come in the green, which gave dollar some bullish momentum during mid of the week. And then on the next day, on Wednesday, we had ADP non-farm employment change coming in at 89K, which was a big difference, right? A lot of big drop, which started signaling to the traders and the investors maybe dollar may be bearish, and this may be the forecast for the NFP, right? So there was a bit of confusion during the middle of the week. Then on Friday, which was the NFP day, we had NFP number come in at a very big increase, which was 336K, right? If you look at the forecast, it is pretty much double the amount and even way higher than the previous month, which is extremely bullish for the dollar, right? So these numbers are supposed to come in the negative, right? If the rate hikes are working, but we did still see labor market remains extremely persistent. So I believe we'll still see a lot of bullish dollar strength, right, coming into the next week, which is this week, current week. So on Monday, which is today, we will, me personally, I'll avoid trading completely because we have dollar bank holiday and JPY bank holiday. Usually these days I see a lot of low volume in the market, so the probabilities of trades are quite low. So I personally avoid them. On Tuesday, not much as well, but on Wednesday and Thursday we have heavy fundamentals. So we have producer price index. We have producer price index, and this is a producer inflation number, right? So it gauges the inflation that the producers are facing, and the numbers are coming in somewhat lower, right? Forecast to come in lower. But we also have FOMC meeting minutes. This is the meeting minutes which records the data or the comments made by the FOMC members from the previous FOMC meeting. So it is a older data, right? But this may give us some more insight on what exactly each FOMC member were thinking about. Maybe some FOMC members were against something, maybe the majority were against something. That can give us some insight on how the opinion of the FOMC is at the minute, right? Then on the next day, on Thursday, we have British pound GDP, which is forecasted to come in higher, which is not the best thing because that still shows that inflation is persisting. So we're going to gauge on what happens there. But on the same day, we have CPI. CPI data is going to move the markets. And on CPI data, we are expecting about the same, right? A tiny drop in CPI, and especially the core CPI remaining stagnant. So this will be very important to see how inflation data comes out, because for what we've been saying, the hike in energy prices is causing a lot of inflation, and I would be interested to see if that energy prices are still affecting inflation and if the inflation numbers are still going up, right? So this will be quite important to see. On Friday, we have I don't really mention all the time, but the Chinese CPI and some Chinese data, right, do come out, and China and dollar are kind of negatively correlated. So if the Chinese economy does really well, dollar doesn't do well, right, and vice versa. So something I also keep an eye on is the Chinese data that comes out, or the yuan. And on also on Friday, we have Bank of England Governor Bailey speak, right? Important insights he may drop, so something to keep an eye on for the pound strength. And in the end, we have preliminary inflation expectations, right? University of Michigan. And on Saturday as well, Bank of England governor speaks, and I think this has to do with some seminar. So this is the G30 annual international banking seminar. So maybe he may drop some gems that we can maybe hold on to and see if we can see the pound strength where it may head to. Right. So that's with the fundamentals. Let's look at the technicals. Let's start with the dollar index. Dollar is bullish, right? All the data that I just mentioned supports the dollar index. It is bullish, but we did see in the previous week a bit of a pullback, right? A retracement. So if you look at the daily time frame as well, it remains bullish, right? And I do expect price to hit somewhere around here at 109, 110 area. So dollar is bullish. So let's look at the dollar index first. Sorry, the dollar Japanese yen. So very bullish, right? All time frames are quite bullish. Weekly time frame is bullish, right? So in the previous week, I did mention that we had a supply zone sitting around here, right here on the pretty much the all-time highs on UJ, but we did see that tap in, and now that we have gotten that confirmation of that tap in, now I'm interested to see if we can get an entry, right? And this is an entry that I kept mentioning in the Telegram group, the free Telegram group. So if you see, right now I'm waiting for an entry around that 149 640 area, somewhere around there. So I can maybe take a sell position here, targeting these lows, right, where we had this wick from rumored Bank of Japan intervention. So somewhere around here is where I'm looking to get into. Maybe for a total of 1 to 6, pretty much risk reward. So this is what I'm looking with the USD JPY an entry. So let's look at Japanese British pound Japanese yen. So not a lot of movement here, a lot of consolidation. You see how we have a lot of side ranging movement. Price does technically remain bullish, especially the last week wick, right? The doji candle, it's quite bullish. But at the moment, I don't see clear. I want to see a better clear trending motion, right? Maybe I want to see price hit this high, right, and see what kind of reaction it has. Maybe to short this, right, to take a sell position, or I want to see what price does at this daily demand zone, right? So for now, I remain patient with this pair. So British pound USD, right, dollar. So this is bearish, right? And main thing is why is because dollar is quite bullish, right? So this will definitely trend bearish. But if you look at my chart here, you notice that the weekly demand zone has been hit that I mentioned the previous week, in fact really perfectly, right? And see how price has reacted off that zone. We started now to see a structure shift. Let's look at this even in a more lower time frame, right? So let's look at a 4-hour time frame. You see how price hit the zone. We had these lows, a bit of a reaction, but then again grabbing these lows, and then we see a push with the structure shift. So now that we got that structure shift, I'll be looking to take a long position, right? These will be counter trend positions, right? Even because I'm betting on weakness with the dollar a little bit, just for I'm hoping the dollar index will retrace a bit. So if that happens, I'll be taking a long position, a counter trend long position at 120,850, somewhere around here, right? With about a 22 pip stop loss, I believe, around there. Maybe targeting these highs, but these is take profit, something I'll be mentioning in the Telegram group, so join there. Let's look at gold. Gold also is interesting, right? Gold was in a bit of a consolidation, but we got that break to the downside, and it's hit our weekly demand zone. Once we hit the weekly demand zone, you see how the volume kept dying off slowly, right? And then we picked up to the bullish side now. So looking at that, I would like to capitalize off that bullish structure shift here as well. Again, this I would wait to see if price can give me a retracement towards this H4 demand somewhere around here. Maybe I'll look for an extra confirmation. and then maybe take a long positions towards this 12-hour supply. But if price directly hits the supply area, right, maybe this is a trade that I won't be looking into. Or if price drops here but never gives me that extra confirmation, I won't be taking this trade. So to stay updated, join the free telegram group. That's where I'll update regarding gold. And now let's look at indices. Let's look at SPX, S&P 500. It's bearish, right? All has to do because of dollar strength, and at the moment we do see that bearish push. But from the previous week, it hit our daily demand zone that I had mentioned in the previous weekly analysis. Now it did react off that, and we were trying to capitalize off this move, but unfortunately we did not get an entry because price did not give us a retracement somewhere around here at an entry. So therefore this is a pair that I won't be looking personally at the moment. But if price can now react off this 12-hour zone, maybe give us that move, right, a structure shift, maybe I'll take a short position, right? But again, as today is a bank holiday, I'll avoid taking any trades if this setup remains valid, which is around here at 4280. And tomorrow, if I can see if I have a nice clear structure shift, maybe possibly I'll take a position to again target this demand zone here, right? So join the telegram group to be updated. Now let's look at NASDAQ, NAS 100. So NAS 100 is stuck in a bit of a range at the moment, and the main thing that I don't like at the moment is it is bearish, but I would have liked for price to close off under this low, these bodies to close, but at the moment it's rejected that, and now it's again pushing towards the upside. So me personally, I still don't like structure here. I would want to see if price can hit this zone here, the daily supply, and then give us the structure shift, or if it can drop towards this demand zone and give us a structure shift. So all I'm doing at the moment is waiting to see what price does at these two zones. So no trades here at the moment. So Dow Jones, your US30, bearish, right? A lot of bearish structure here. But on the daily here, it has hit our demand zone that I mentioned previous week. And the only reason why I did not capitalize off a counter trend move, a counter trend trade, is because I did not like this wick. When a wick pierces through a zone, that kind of indicates a weak zone and it invalidates it for me. But Dow Jones does act aggressively and abruptly than the other pairs. So me personally, I did not take this trade. If you did capitalize off this trade, good job. So at the moment now I'm waiting to see if price can hit this supply zone now, which it created last week on a 12-hour time frame, and see if it can give me a structure shift, which I can possibly again target these demand zones. So at the moment I'm just being patiently waiting for this indices to set up. But for now, the only setups I'm looking at is dollar Japanese yen and dollar gold, and possibly dollar British pound dollar and gold, right? So these are the only three valid setups at the moment that I'm looking at. So that's it. We'll meet next week.